The hero who defeated the gods. A warrior unparalleled in his time. Now he sleeps underground, waiting to emerge and save his country in its hour of need. And in Fate's Grand Order, masters have long known this legendary figure as a rare prism. For many years, masters worldwide have regarded the name Fionn as being synonymous with rare prisms. But why is this? Well, for two main reasons. He was never presented as either likeable or competent in FGO stories and events, while in terms of gameplay, he played like crap. Let's explore a little further. At first glance, you would be forgiven for thinking of Fionn as some kind of oaf. He is haughty, arrogant, obnoxious, vain, overtly womanizing, ignores any male not named Diarmuid, who he consistently chides and antagonizes. Some claim he is even reminiscent of Diarmuid's other antagonistic ex-master, Fate Zero's biggest ray of sunshine, Caineth El-Meloi Archibald, who along with his fiancée, the downright sociopathic Sola Ui Noada Risofiri. Who the hell comes up with these names? Kashtaria Vordaim! Are not exactly the most likeable figures themselves. And Fionn's own cameo in the show was itself not the best first impression. His subsequent appearances in Fate Grand Order did nothing to remedy this. Yet for all his arrogance, his track record in battle was utterly abysmal. So it's fairly easy to see why this toxic mixture of arrogance and uselessness made Fionn one of the more unlikable servants. Thus, masters often replaced him instead with one of their favourite characters in the entire game. But perhaps there were gameplay reasons for masters to like him? Spoiler alert, there were not. In years past, it would be fair to say that Fionn's kit was bad. Ostensibly speaking, he was a farmer via his arts noble phantasm. But don't let that A rank fool you. Even with his impressive Magecraft B arts buff applied, this woefully underpowered NP hit like a damp fish. But less like a salmon of knowledge, and more a Magecraft of shit. And yet, this was undoubtedly the highlight of his kit. As a servant largely dependent on his noble phantasm, good NP gain is vital. Something Fionn himself, for all the salmon's wisdom, was apparently unaware of. His arts cards had horrific NP gain, while he lacked both an NP gain skill or a battery. Better still, he was part of the Clairvoyance Club. Inspired by fellow Knight of Fianna Diarmuid, he also had a star generation skill, as someone who generates no stars. And as for his final skill, Trouble with Women, this theoretically provides him one turn of taunt and a chance of evade, which scales with level. But unless you heavily invest in this skill, the evade might not trigger, giving him trouble with far more than just women. While his NP's poor damage could be somewhat remedied via his interlude, a short story which allowed him to show off yet more of that sparkling personality, still struggled to actually access it, vis-a-vis many of his rivals who possessed either NP gain skills or outright NP batteries. Furthermore, they were more natural fits with the top supports. Whereas Fionn himself was an arts farmer, with poor NP gain coupled with a useless star generation skill, so it's fairly easy to see why Fionn was one of the more unlikable characters in the game. With a horrific kit and unlikable personality, why do so many of us love him today? What saved Fionn, a man with hair as golden as the rare prisms he used to become, from the scrap heap? It all started with the game's second anniversary. which brought Fionn his first of 2 major rank ups, changing Clairvoyance into Clairvoyance Beauty. In so doing, it not only dramatically improved the star generation of the skill, but rather than make it solely targeted at Fionn, it became party-wide. But most importantly, it also gained a second buff, a party-wide NP game buff. Not only did this add tremendous support value to Fionn, but it also made it much easier to exploit his double arts deck and thus fill his NP gauge. But the real turning point for Fionn came with this year's New Year's event. Sparrow's In Daily Report, records of the enma-tei's prosperity. For it was here that Fionn took center stage. During the event's story, Fionn played an integral role, coming across as easily the most charming and likeable servant in the entire event, with the possible exception of Benny Enma herself. This event showed another side of him, one we hadn't seen, that of a leader, bringing wisdom and guidance to the party. But perhaps more importantly, the dreaded trouble with women was replaced by uninhibited resplendence rank A, because as he himself claims, Fionn is indeed a beautiful man. This not only cut down the ridiculous cooldown of the skill, but introduced a 30% NP battery. This was a godsend for Fionn, allowing him to instantly access his NP if equipped with craft essences like Kaleidoscope or a max limit broken imaginary element. Better still, paired with the right supports, he gained access to looping potential, with his arts NP paired with his pair of arts cards, his arts buff on Magecraft, and his NP gain buff on Clairvoyance Beauty. And with the arrival of Mysterious Caster A on the horizon, this is nothing to bite your thumb at. No longer a blithering idiot with a horrendous kit, Fionn was now the talk of the town. Lifted from the scrap heap, he has become a highly regarded servant by many masters across the world. And with Mysterious Caster A within view, the age of Fionn is about to begin. I've been Sionjunes, thank you so much for watching this first episode of From Scrapheap to Stardom. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and tell me which servants you would like to see in this series. I've been Sionjunes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.